Come on. Did you hear me talking? Like when I talk?
Yeah.
Here. Hello? Okay.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting of council and committee for the town of Petawawa to order for June 10th, 2024. Welcome members of council, staff, and our guests in the audience. We'll start this meeting off with the reading of the land acknowledgement. And tonight it will be Councillor Roots. Take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As we gather this evening, I would like to acknowledge on behalf of the Petawawa Town Council and our community that we are meeting on traditional territory of the Algonquin and Anishinaabe people. I'd like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history, and we are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years, and we wish to acknowledge our shared responsibilities in responding to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission 94 calls to action. Calls to action number 13. We call upon the federal government to acknowledge that the Aboriginal rights include Aboriginal language rights. The Indigenous Languages Act was passed in 2019 to support the efforts of the Indigenous people to reclaim, revitalize, maintain and strengthen Indigenous languages in Canada through the various teaching and learning initiatives.
Thank you, Councillor Roots. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest on any of this evening's matters? No presentations, so we'll start things off with our Community Services Monthly Activity Report for May. Mary, mic is yours.
May was a busy month for bringing on new staff. We've set up a new kind of orientation where we do at midnight and then do an equipment training for our ops staff to go through everything before we get them on the ground and running. Calvin and I also attended a inclusive play workshop, which is on accessible playgrounds hosted by ABC Recreation. And Dave McKenzie worked on his event management course through the ORFA. We sat down with the consultants from Think Design to see their SOAR and pest analysis review from all of the data they got from the open houses and the surveys and the stakeholder interviews. So we're moving along on the master plan. Colin is working on a new tourism map for the town and working on sponsorship for Water and Dirt. We hosted Valor's Specialist High Skills major class. We presented them with a challenge to develop what they would like to see for a youth center, and they had to build an actual youth center and then kind of outline what types of programs and stuff they would like to see. We had some guest judges from council come to see their presentations and award a winner. We've been talking with Heritage Village just in how we can support them through the summer and how we can work together. And we are also, as part of the Empowering Community Groups workshop with Community Futures Development Corporation, we hosted an ONCA workshop for local nonprofits to work on updating their bylaws to be in compliance. I attended a staff and council ride with the RCATB club just to get familiar with what we have in our own backyard. And then we brought on new staff, Stefan Chartrand and Joe Mick. One's a recreation programmer and one is a new facility operator who is covering a maternity leave. Our new policy and grants coordinator has submitted 2 grants in the month of May, the Inclusive Communities Grant and the Indigenous Reconciliation Grant. One is for a ramp at Norman Banky Hall, and the other one is for some of our consultation fees and our Truth and Reconciliation celebration that we've been working on with Algonquins at Pikwakanagan. We're preparing currently for Civic Center days. Other than that, no big items to speak of.
Okay, thanks, Mary. Any questions on the monthly report for May? Deputy Mayor Savarist.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to Mary. Mary, on behalf of the recreational boaters and the fishermen, I just want to extend a thank you very much for getting the dock in this year. A lot of really happy people using it already. So thanks to the team for that.
Any other questions or comments? Mary, do you want to take just a brief opportunity to pump up the upcoming Civic Center days on the weekend?
Sure. There's a lot of fun events going on this weekend. The Midway has pulled into town. We have like a throwback roller skating event happening at the Civic Center. There's Happy Gilmore is going to be playing at Roanoke Golf Course. There's, I believe it's an 80s themed mini putt night coming up. Lots of fun events on. So come check it out. Tell everybody.
Okay, any other questions or comments on the report? And I need a motion to accept it. Moved by Councillor Coutu, seconded by Councillor Carmody, that the Community Services Monthly Report for May be accepted as information. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried. Okay, next we have CS-04-2024, the Municipal Alcohol Policy Revision. Go ahead, Mary.
So the municipal alcohol policy was updated, and this was in consultation with Petawawa Civic Center Fundraising Committee, and through our session with the Alcohol and Gaming Commission of Ontario, we made the following recommendations to update the policy. So part of it was just changing the department information, so it was correct. Removing the Civic Center floor as a licensed area, so it can be used under a caterer's endorsement. That previously servers had to have obtained Smart Serve within 60 days of serving, but we wanted them to have that training completed before they start serving. We removed the father of the bride rule, which was that they could get like a certain number of tickets to hand out. And we removed the language in accordance with the Liquor License Act under the food section because it's no longer a requirement of the Liquor License Act, but we do want to continue to have food served, just doing our due diligence to make sure that we're trying to limit the amount of alcohol or limit the risk, have people have access to food. We took out removal of the payphone because we don't have a payphone in our building anymore. And then we added language around providing product from local brewers and distillers, and we added the addition of the recommended minimum staffing requirements. We have had a change in the complement of servers available through our fundraising committee, so we know that it's not always possible to have as many people, but we wanted to still have the minimum requirements there. So those are kind of the changes that we're proposing. Questions?
Okay, questions on the municipal alcohol policy? Deputy Mayor Sandberg.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to Mary. Mary, really happy to see the local businesses being able to provide product. And we debuted some craft beers this weekend and they went over very, very well. So we had Doghouse Brewery as well as some Whitewater product. And so really nice to see. We've got a young demographic and certainly the craft beer is very, very popular. I'm very pleased to see that we haven't changed the consumption control guidelines. The fact that we can only sell a maximum of 6 tickets, number of drinks, 2 per person that they can take away, and no doubles or triples. I think that's really important, particularly in the environment that we're in. We are Smart Serve trained, and I'm Smart Serve trained to not serve people to the point of intoxication, and those are really important guidelines. Oftentimes, it's challenging to help educate people as to why we do that, but we need to see our community back the next day and healthy. So thank you for your work on this.
Thank you, and thank you for mentioning the fact that we've included some language in there to promote local products, I guess, for people who are taxpayers here in our town. We do have a couple people who are brewing or one for sure that is actually brewing beer in our town, and we're soon gonna have a restaurant from another company that brews their own beer, and there are some other restaurants here who may have their own beer as well. So I think it's important they pay taxes in our town. And it's been a long time that we haven't afforded them that opportunity in our bartending at Civic Center. So I think it's great that we've made that addition. And it's important, I think, also to ensure that the language states that, you know, you are a commercial taxpayer in our town or a residential taxpayer in our town. And that's where this product is coming from. I think it's great to support local and provides our ratepayers with some variety, I guess, in our bar. Okay, any other questions or comments on the policy? I just have one about the Civic Center being removed as a licensed area, and now that the language states that we have to have a special operator's permit.
Caterers endorsement.
Caterers endorsement.
Yeah.
So what if we, the town of Petawawa, put an event on the arena floor? Like, let's say we have a concert and a band comes in and it's us putting it on.
Yeah,
How does that work?
we would just apply for the caterer's endorsement to operate the bar there. And when AGCO came in to do their training with us, we talked to them about the arena floor and they said it's actually better to leave it in that scenario, like that situation, as a non-licensed space, because in the event that there's like a hockey game going on and somebody is consuming alcohol on the bench that we don't catch, they're violating our liquor license by doing that. But if it's a licensed area, we are actually at more liability by having it that way. But if we only do it for special events and we're monitoring the alcohol consumption during that time, then it's less risky for the town as a whole.
Okay, that does make sense. Any other questions or concerns about the policy? Okay, if you're comfortable with it, then I need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Root, seconded by Deputy Mayor Sabrin. The council approves the municipal alcohol policy as revised, and that a bylaw be brought forward at a future meeting of council to formally adopt the amended municipal alcohol policy. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried. Thank you, Mary. Next, we have the Fire Department Monthly Activity Report for May 2024. Acting Fire Chief Brew. Another busy month.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good evening, members of council. For the report of May, we had 10 incidents. We had 2 incidents along the Petawawa River that someone was burning along the shore, but we couldn't locate them. Cruises extinguished and left the scene. We had a burning complaint that was unfound on La Roche on May 4th. We had 2 motor vehicle accidents. First one on Highway 17 and that was west of Doran Road. Our crews successfully extricated 2 patients that were uninjured, just trapped in the vehicle. And one on May 27th where the single vehicle was not located. We had a water rescue with a disabled boat during a bit of a storm that our crews went and assist a young family and got them to safety. We had a tree on a hydro line on May 22nd out on Rats Road. And we had lines arcing on May 23rd on the boulevard. We also got called on May 23rd for a assist with the paramedics on Victoria Street. And we attended a bushfire on May 26th. The cause is unknown, but they have a lot of youth in the area. So again, we had another one the other night, but fire prevention, we had 17 inspections completed for May. On the 1st of May, the Chief Fire Inspector attended the Ontario Association of Fire Chiefs Conference and Trade Show. It was all myself and the acting deputy. He attended the meeting on May 9th with planning and development about the a new subdivision coming. May 14th, the Chief Fire Inspector participated in our Fire Captains competition as one of the members of the panel. For public relations, we had 2 schools with that came to Station 2 Fire Hall. The prevention team took 75 students through the station here. And then we had 2 members attend the fun fair at Ballard on May 30th. For residential smoke and CO, inspections are 33 for the month, which brings us 106 for the year. And for recreational permits, we're at 926. For training, our crews continue with boat training for most of May, trying to get familiar with the waterways. We did specialized training for the 5th and 27th, which was our continued mandatory certification for firefighter certification that we have to meet next year. It looks like we're on track with that too. So May 21st, we had swiftwater rescue training for maintenance. Just we had a vehicle front end work was completed, annual checks on 2 of the vehicles, and we had our boat trailer and cargo trailer annually certified, and just some minor maintenance. We had the fit test machine go out for calibration and some minor maintenance on some backpack pumps. For the fire chief's comments, I attended the Association of Fire Chiefs Conference in Mississauga. On the 9th, met with the planning department. 14th, we did the interviews, and the 29th, attended the senior management team, and that's my report for May.
Thank you, Craig. You were going kind of quick tonight. You got to get home and watch the hockey game.
No.
That's the fastest report you've ever given.
Good job.
Are there any questions or comments about the monthly fire report? Councillor Driscoll.
Hey, Mr. Mayor, just one question. The cargo trailer, is that kitted up now and ready for use, or where are we standing with that?
No, it's not kitted up yet. We're still getting the deckling done on it, and we're looking at different options to get the equipment in and how we're going to place it. So it's just open right now. There's nothing on the there's no benches or anything. So we're looking at procuring a bench for the front and then maybe cargo netting or something on the sides. But we just want to make sure when we drill into the walls, because they're specialized, there's paneling in there so that we keep the moisture down. But we're hoping to have that online probably by August.
Further questions or comments? Just a question about the water rescue. Is that our first official usage of the boat?
That is our first usage of the boat.
And everything went well?
Everything went well. Yeah, there was no issues.
Perfect. It's good to hear. It justifies our purchase of it. The fact that we had to go out there and rescue somebody and everything worked. The training was good. That's fantastic to hear. No further questions or comments? Okay, then I need a motion to accept. Moved by Councillor Donovan, seconded by Councillor Coutu, that the fire department activity report for May be accepted as information. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried. Thanks, Craig.
Thank you.
We have FIN-10-2024, the 2024 property tax rates report. Christine?
Thank you. So just because we passed the budget doesn't mean there's that's the end of the road for the finance department as it relates to property taxes. So every year our tax bills go out the beginning of July, and there's actually 3 inputs that need to be solidified or confirmed. The first is obviously our tax rates, and then there's also the county as well as the education tax rates. So those 3 inputs have been finalized. So this is just a formality in terms of approving the tax rates so that we can get those tax bills out. So I'm happy to answer any questions at this point in time, but and I do also want to point out that the garbage rates that were approved in the budget back in February will also be increasing from $215 annually to $225 annually. So a $10 increase in addition to the tax rates that are included in this file.
Any questions on the tax report for 2024? Everybody's comfortable with that, then I need a motion to accept the report. Moved by Councillor Roots, seconded by Councillor Carmody, that the proposed bylaw attached to this report be approved as presented at the next meeting of council. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried. Thanks, Christine. We're just rolling along here. Okay, next we have Legislative Services Monthly Report for May 2024. Colin.
Thank you, Mayor Service. Through you and to council, before you is my monthly report for May. I'll just briefly highlight a few key points within my report. Under animal control, we had three cats that were loose or stray. One of them was injured, brought to a vet, and the other one was brought to the SPCA, and the other one, or sorry, the OSPCA, and the other one was issued a verbal warning to the owners of the animal. We had one stray dog also located at the Petawawa Point, and it was also brought into the OSPCA. Under other, there was a complaint received of chickens at a residential home on Murphy Road. The bylaw enforcement officer attended and informed the owner that they need to reduce their number of chickens to six, which they complied under our current bylaw. Under parking, I'll just touch on the fact we had 10 parking infraction notices issued in the month of May. Most of those were around sidewalk blocking and parking in the wrong direction on the roadway. Under watering, we had 54 property owners receive exemptions for freshly laid sod or grass seed. So they were allowed to water every day for 14 days. We also had 22 written warnings issued for residents who were watering on wrong days and times. Just want to point out under garbage for our large collection this year, happy to report that the garbage contractor tagged only 134 properties, which was down from 303 properties in the spring of 2023 for non-compliance items. So that was shows you that our promotion went a long way in getting the word out there and what was acceptable and not acceptable. Under noise, we had one written warning for a resident on the Roche for a complaint of loud music. And we also had a concern at the Herman Street Public School for the sweeping of the parking lot between 11:30 and 2:30 in the morning, which violates our noise bylaw. So I was in contact with the school and they ensured that the contract will be adhered to with the contractor moving forward. We also had two written warnings issued for burning violations. One was on a resident on the Roche, and the other one was at a resident on Poplar Street. And you'll see the revenue and the money that was received for commissioner votes, for licensing and marriage licenses, and the commissioner vote totals for the month on the last page of my report. Happy to take any questions if there is any.
Any questions on the legislative services? Councillor Driscoll.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just one quick one. I haven't noticed it before, so it's more curiosity. Is this our first complaint about backyard chickens?
Yes, I believe it is.
Just to follow up on that, maybe just a quick reminder on what the actual rule is in residential areas.
Yeah, you're allowed 6 chickens maximum on unserviced lots. If you have a serviced lot, you're allowed none.
So when you say unserviced, that's well and septic?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions on the report? Then I need a motion to approve the report. Moved by Deputy Mayor Sabern, seconded by Councillor Coutu. The council receives the Legislative Services Monthly Report for May as information. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried. General matters, can I bring up that other issue? Or not issue, but announcement?
Yes.
I guess I'll have to read slow because I can't officially announce it till 7. But anyways, at the present moment at the Renfrew County Building in Pembroke, they're undergoing a major announcement. And because we couldn't attend, nor could a couple other mayors from other municipalities, we're allowed to report on it at our council meetings this evening. So a few years back, everybody will remember we had the Ontario Winter Games hosted here across Renfrew County. And it was an amazing event, and a lot of the communities took part by providing facilities and volunteers. Here in Petawawa, we hosted several events, sledge hockey, and up on the base, there were several events as well. As part of that event, a lot of funds were raised through sales of merchandise and other avenues. And tonight they're announcing that there's going to be a new foundation created. It's going to be called the Ottawa Valley Community Foundation. They're going to recruit new board members. They're looking for people with experiences across our larger community and really to represent the whole of Renfrew County. So what this fund is going to be available for is People can write grant proposals to it, starting in the year 2025. They're going to have several granting areas. There's going to be a youth sport grant up to age 21, $20,000 annually. And there'll be grants of up to $1,000 for each request. And it's for athletes to travel, for equipment costs, coaching, registration, and other things like that. Also, there's a sports club category, $20,000 annually, 4 grants per year of $5,000 each to help sports teams, clubs, or organizations with their needs, like if they have to go to a tournament for equipment, coaching fees, and other things like that. The third category is major sports infrastructure, $40,000 annually, 2 grants per year of up to $20,000 each for infrastructure on existing facilities to upgrade them or for new facilities. There's going to be an emphasis on new sports being introduced in certain communities. So that will be open in 2025. Have I made it to 7? I haven't been. Maybe later in the meeting, I'll tell you how big the fund is, but it's a considerable amount of money that's going to be available to all of these clubs and individuals across Renfrew County. We'll save the amount for later. Okay. Next, we have a closed meeting, so I need a motion to go into closed. Moved by Councillor Driscoll, seconded by Councillor Roots, that the meeting be closed pursuant to section 239, paragraph 2, paragraph K of the Municipal Act 2001, S.O.2001, C.25 to discuss a position, plan, procedure, criteria, or instruction to be applied to any negotiations carried on or to be carried on by or on behalf of the municipality or local board. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried.